Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Meek again. Today we're going to do a fun hot topic video just dedicated to the big stallion honey, the orange stallion herself, aka Big H, aka Hermes. You know, we have lots of slang terms for the brand on here. And I wanted to share something that I saw. So shout out to one of the mods of my group. She had shared this TikTok with me, and it is a TikTok from a TikToker who says that she's quitting the Hermes game. If she hasn't deleted it, I'll post the link to the TikTok below. But I did also repost it directly on my Facebook page, so you can go follow my Facebook page, and you can also go see the TikTok. You can also go see the TikTok, which is linked below. So I'll link it on her page and on my Facebook page. There were a lot of great comments from you guys and reactions. And I did also ask you guys on Instagram and Facebook, like, hey, what do you think? So I'm going to read out some of your responses, and then I will also give you my response. But let me quickly summarize what the TikToker says. She says that she shops at the Big H flagship in New York, which is obviously Madison Avenue. And she says that the shopping process was starting to make her feel unwanted, like trying to score a quote back. In her case, I think that she wanted a Kelly. It was starting to make her feel unwanted, and clearly it was starting to take a toll on her. So she is deciding to quit the Hermes shopping quota game, and she was just basically saying, like, yeah, she's basically quitting. She also mentions like the financial aspect, the fact that, you know, obviously you have to show loyalty. She talks about a bunch of things. So I did repost it, like I said, on my Facebook page. I also reposted it on my Instagram and asked you guys what you guys thought. So yeah, I want to read out some of your responses. Let's start off with Instagram. I asked you guys, like, what do you think? So here we go. Shani Cole says, now that the world has opened back up for travel and entertainment, I'm less interested in Big H. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a good point. Like, what's going to happen now? You know, the panoramic, it's been like 2 years. Like, what's going to really happen now to Big H? Are Big H and Big C and Big LV still going to be able to compete at that level? Or are people going to do other things? You know, the other day I was thinking, like, I also want to go to Zanzibar with my husband. Like, you know, I kind of love the idea of going to Zanzibar and going on some jet skis. I mean, travel is definitely an important thing, and it's something that many people are, I think, putting their money towards for sure. The next comment is from Miss Aloe. She responded saying, some are out here emptying their bank accounts for luxury, but don't have enough for a down payment. Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, look, I think that you've made a good point. This is the thing. It's a luxury. It is not a necessity, and frankly, it's not an investment. Because of the whole investment thing, and by the way, fun fact, the whole concept of investment bags was pushed onto you guys by luxury YouTubers so that they can get videos that have a lot of views, and so that they can churn a lot of videos. Yes, I said it. It has definitely something that came from the luxury YouTube community, and it has been pushed by luxury influencers and luxury YouTubers that these bags are investments and you should see them as investments. They're not investments, they are leather handbags. And I think that if you see it as just like, oh, I'm going there to buy a handbag, I think you'll be able to kind of ride with the sort of the highs and the lows, essentially, of shopping at the brand. Jennifer says, I started with Big H at 45. I wanted a mortgage and my kids' college savings completed first. Yeah, and this is the thing. I don't think that there's like an age range for shopping at the brand. There are many people from all walks of life who shop at the brand, but I definitely think, like, the point about like having your stuff organized before you come to shop at Hermes, I think that's a good point, because it's not cheap to shop at the brand. A lot of the times, like, whenever we talk about shopping at the house, I think sometimes we end up being quite flippant, and I hope I've never come across flippant, because that's never my intention. But you definitely need to have your ducks in a row if you're going to be shopping at this brand. I was looking at some of their pillows, because I'm like thinking about picking up some pillows in January. They have 800 euro pillows, like Louis Vuitton's pillows, which by the way is super luxurious and beautiful, are like 500 euros a pop. Like Big H's pillows are 800 euros a pop. You know, they have 8,000 euro diamond, you know, bracelets. They have 15,000 euro watches. They have high jewelry watches that are 50,000 euro. I mean, it's very, very, very pricey. There's no question. NTSHSTR says, it's a simple game. You show loyalty or you're out. It's not a new thing anyway. She will learn. You kept it Gucci, and I totally agree with you. It's simple. Loyalty, you get bags. No loyalty, there's nothing for you. Simple, big facts. Completely agree with you. Afri Coco Lux says, it's a game not for the weak, which is why I will not partake in it, not worth it to me. Yeah, exactly, and this is the thing. I think if you know your limits, I think you're going to be fine. People who know their limits are going to be completely fine with the situation at Hermes. If you don't want to play the game, you don't play the game. I think in her case, it was like, she was shopping at the flagship boutique for Hermes in the entire United States, okay? And she's shopping at one of the most competitive boutiques in the world. Like the Madison Avenue location can go toe to toe with the boutiques in China and Japan. It's incredibly competitive. So I think it's probably unrealistic to like assume that you can shop at that boutique and not show loyalty. You're going to show loyalty. It's going to happen. DK Wooten says, outside of the luxury fashion bag channels, this is nuts. I prefer to walk in and be able to buy a bag. That being said, kudos to you. Good luck scoring your bags in Paris. Thank you for that. Thanks for your good luck. Yeah, it is barking mad. I mean, when I tell my husband about qualifying and loyalty, and he thinks the whole concept of using the word loyalty, because we all know the word loyalty is a euphemism for another word, and we you know, you don't say that word, and you don't say that word publicly in Big H like social media, because like I feel like Big H operates like a mafia. Like their codes of conduct, their unwritten rules, their ways of speaking, honey. Like you have to keep it very Gucci, honey. Okay, you have to be very careful the way you speak. It is barking mad. You're absolutely right. It is nuts. I agree with you. Right, and then DK Wilson also says, it seems absurd to go on a journey to finally be offered a bag. Like what? And that's the thing. Like Hermes is not the only brand that does this, but it does actually seem completely nuts and barking mad. It's true. Trisha says, I think the game is old news. I play the retail game and hunt for undervalued bags. Yeah, I mean, the in-store game isn't for everyone. I can totally see why you prefer to do that. I don't like buying things that are not from the store when it pertains to fashion. That's just a personal thing on me. It's just, I want the in-store experience like everyone else. If I can't get the in-store experience, for me, it's not meant to be. But I think everyone has the right to view this differently. Many people prefer shopping resale, and I totally understand why. Halska says, if you don't have the funds, don't play the game. Hey, you said it, not me, and I agree. You know, if you can't play the game, I don't think you can complain about the sort of financial aspect of the game if you can't play the game. You either can play the game or you can't. You either can buy base items or you can't. You have to make that decision. Chanel Sparks Joy says, I commend her for setting aside her pride and recognizing that she has other priorities. Yeah, fair enough to her for realizing that she has other priorities for sure, because I feel like, again, it's just so competitive shopping at this brand. Like if you notice that maybe you can't compete at the level that everyone else is doing, it's probably a good idea to just go and just let it go. 9 Nego Fur says, if it doesn't make sense to spend 10K on a bag, Big H is not for her, she had no game, sorry. Yeah, you kept it real. And this is the thing. A 10K bag, or 10,000 in the US, because obviously the bags are differently priced in USD. I'm more familiar with euros, but like that's a lot of money for a leather handbag. But relative to the things that Big H sells, like even the prices of the Birkin Cellier or the Kelly Cellier versus like Big H's like high jewelry watches, Big H's high jewelry pieces. Big H has like 6-figure high jewelry rings and bangles and all the rest of it. I mean, it is a phenomenally expensive brand to shop at. So 10K is literally just like, we're just starting the shenanigans. Like we're not even really deep in like how expensive things are in terms of shopping at the house. Belle Michelle says, each to their own, and she made some good points. But to be honest, she didn't need to make a video. I agree. I probably wouldn't have filmed a video, but that's me. I don't know, man. I'm proud. I'm very, very proud. I would have been like, girl, I'm not filming a video, honey. Okay, but she was strong to share that video because, of course, she's going to be critiqued and people are going to give their opinions. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have filmed a video as well. But that's me. Mary says, it's true, it's too much effort only for a bag. It's a lot of work for a handbag. It's a lot of work. And it's work, honey. It feels like a job. Sola says, people need to go outside and touch grass. It has never been, nor ever will it be that serious. Okay, I heard you, girl. I agree. It's actually completely not that serious. And it's never really going to be that serious. And I get your point. I think it's just that in the Hermes shopping community, it can come across very intense because I think it's become so competitive. Because it's become so competitive to shop at the brand, I think that people want to share their kind of frustrations. I think we've all seen it as well on YouTube, people saying that they have been banned by the house, that they're not allowed to shop there, they've been told by the house, don't shop with us anymore. It's a very intense brand to shop from. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a leather handbag. Okay, those are the comments from Instagram, and here's some of your comments from my Facebook page. By the way, my Facebook page is open to the public. My Facebook group is private. So these are the comments from the page because I said give me your thoughts. It's not from the group, it's from the page. Okay, so the first comment is from Cassia. She says, casual luxury shoppers who used to have some luck at Big H throughout the panoramic are now being rejected by the same stores. She said it herself. She can't really afford a $10,000 handbag. That's what the TikToker said, which is true. It's true what she said here. She can't really afford the $10,000 handbag. And yet thought for a minute she could. I think that's why we have seen so many of these bags on the secondary market as well. After the initial excitement of the purchase, the reality of how am I going to pay off my card sets in and the bag is sold. I'm glad she realized the mental trap she got herself in. Yeah, I totally agree with you, and you're right. You're right. In the TikTok, she does say that, she maybe can't really afford buying a $10,000 handbag. That's just the price of a Birkin or a Kelly, give or take, depending on which style you get. We haven't even included bait items, other types of loyalty that you're going to have to show to support the offer. Definitely for that boutique that she shops at, you have to. And I think you're right. That is why we're seeing so many of them on the resale market. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you. Stephanie says, I'd need more context to have an opinion. However, I'm all for people doing what they want. If she doesn't feel comfortable in the store and wants to spend her money on other things. Yeah, you're right. And maybe she realized that shopping in the store is not for her when it pertains to Hermes, and maybe she just realized that at this point in her life she'd want to spend her money on other things, and that's fair enough. Joyce says, I'm always curious what expectations people walk into luxury stores with, and if that affects their reactions to the treatment. Because in the TikTok, she makes a reference to treatment as well that she had received at Big H, and that the treatment wasn't nice. If you watch the TikTok, you'll know what I mean. She does reference that. And I think that this is a good point as well. What are your expectations of treatment in luxury stores? Are you the kind of person that you want them to cater to you? I remember someone told me something really, really, really true, and I think that this was such a great comment. Someone said, and I think this person used to be an SA, which is why they had such a sharp view on it. They said, some people want you to pamper them and cater to their every whim, but they don't understand that you're not friends and it's a business, and that person's job is to sell things to you. That is at the heart of this issue. I think that in the TikTok, when she references treatment and maybe not being treated as well, I think that you also need to understand, why are you there? Are you there to make friends? Are you there to become friends with the SA? Because let me tell you something, sweetheart, they don't care about your friendship, boo-boo. Not even those of you who say, oh, I'm actually friends with my SA. Are you friends with an SA? If something, God forbid, was to happen to you today, would your SA leave her job at Big H to go and sit with you at the hospital for a day? Because, I don't think your Big HSA is leaving her check, okay, to come check up on you. Okay, and that's the thing. So I think that with her, understanding as well what your expectations are. My expectations are this: I want you to sell things to me. Okay, yes, I would like to be offered something to drink in the store. Yes. I would like to have some water, honey. And if I'm spending a lot of money, yes, I would like you to open a bottle of Bollinger if you have it. Okay, if you have Bollinger or Krug or Moet, yes, I would like you to offer that to me if I'm spending a lot of money. But at the very least, I would like to be treated well. But I'm not a time waster. I don't waste people's time. I don't go into flagship stores and have essays pick out 10,000 things for me and then not buy anything. Okay, I don't know about you, but I don't do that. Departments, I've always told you guys before, department stores, go ahead and browse, but I feel like browsing in flagships, it's like, it just really, really annoys them. To be fair, she did pick up some items, like in the TikTok, she showed like perfumes. The next comment from my Facebook page was from Trisha. Okay, so I'm going to be the minority here and ask, should we applaud her for coming to this conclusion? No, we're not applauding her for coming to this conclusion. But I think it was just a very interesting hot topic, so I just had to share it. Chana says, I would say good for her for being realistic about her financial situation and to decide to not play the game. So I applaud her for that. In terms of being treated nicely, because in the video she talks about how women who are in their 50s and 60s are treated like very well and treated better. Jonna says, I think it depends on your essay. I disagree that only women in their 50s and 60s who obviously have a higher net worth are treated better. We know women in their 20s, 30s and 40s are playing this game as well. However, I do agree that some essays/stores treat people differently based on their perceived high net worth of a client, depending on the clothes and jewelry that they wear. This is so true. I'm rambling, but at the end of the day, these are luxury items usually bought with disposable income, which obviously varies from each and every one. Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you. And that's the thing, like when she made the comment about mature ladies in their 50s and 60s being treated better, I think generally speaking, like mature clients maybe do have it a little bit easier shopping at the brand, a little bit, but there are many women of all walks of life and men who shop at the brand, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Honestly, like my mom's in her 70s and I think that she would probably think that Big H is like too like old for her, and she's in her 70s. She would look at Big H and be like, oh, that's not modern enough. I mean, everyone has a different perspective, and I don't really think the person's age should play into it. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Chana. Yeah, really, really agree with that perspective. And then the final comment from Facebook is from Jonathan. He says, I'm telling you that new MA boutique is like the FSH of New York. The boutique is huge. There are 4 floors. The top floor is bags, and there are lots of deep clients with long relationships with their SA. Before you get to the door, they ask you if you have an appointment with your SA. If you don't, you're probably waiting outside. It will be helpful for you to say, I want to look at accessories or jewelry. They'll direct you to someone in that area. If you want to be left alone, they'll leave you alone. Never be fearful to shop in any New York store. They would love for you to buy things from them. For her and anybody buying bait, it's just being a long-term client of Big H is enough. She'll eventually get the bag, but she shouldn't throw in the towel, and she shouldn't just spend to spend. The 50 and 60-year-old ladies just didn't wake up one day and start spending. Many of them started off with 1 or 2 pieces and built them over time. When you only get 1 or 2 coach bags a year, what's the point of rushing anyway? Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful, practical way of looking at her situation. There were lots of great comments and reactions to that TikTok. So let me tell you where I stand on the TikTok. So first of all, salute to her for being brave to share. I'm very proud about things like that. If I felt like I was bowing out of the game, you just wouldn't see me posting about Big H. You wouldn't see me posting about strategies. You wouldn't see me talking about going to Paris. I just wouldn't mention it. You'd be like, okay, she doesn't talk about Hermes anymore. She doesn't talk about shopping at Hermes anymore. Is she out of the game? So I think in her story, I think she's a good example as well of the frustration of shopping at the brand because of unrealistic expectations. And we're only going by what people put out. So before those of you have a moan and a whinge and start complaining in the comments, like, how can you judge what someone's saying from their TikTok, whatever? If you put something out there, people are going to react to it, okay? I think just based on the things that she had said, I think also having realistic expectations is super important. I don't know about her expectations, okay, but I do think a lot of the things that she said are mirrored by what a lot of you have also told me. Like, I'm tired of waiting for bags. Many of you are still waiting for offers. There are others of you who have gotten many offers who told me, hey, Kagem, I got this, I got a bag, and I got a Kelly, I got a Constance, whatever. But I think also having those expectations in your head and having them clear is really, really important. Like, obviously I'm going back to Paris next month and I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go to a lot of brands to shop, and Hermes is going to be one of them. But Big H is not the pinnacle. It is not the alpha and omega for me. And I think that's the key thing. If Big H is your luxury alpha and omega, you are going to find it very tough to shop at the brand. Many people dedicate their whole luxury budget to only shop at Hermes, and then they don't shop at Louis Vuitton, they don't shop at Chanel, they don't shop at Dior, okay, they don't shop at Big Gucci. You miss out on great experiences by not shopping at other brands, but you also miss out on cooling down the temperature when you're shopping at Big H. If you are balling at Dior, you're balling at Versace, you're balling at Big Gucci, when you walk into Hermes, you're gonna have that swagger about you, if that makes sense. And even the SA will pick up on it, like, okay, this person shops as well at Dior, they shop at Versace, they shop at Van Cleef & Arpels. They don't just buy everything from us. And in a weird way, I feel like it makes you seem less keen. You remember that rule that you're always taught when you're dating, as a young girl, like treat them mean, keep them keen. I do think that there is like a part of that that's very true when it pertains to shopping at Big H. We all want to shop at Hermes. If you're watching this video, you like Hermes. I like Hermes too, honey. I'm not saying I don't like Hermes, but what I'm saying is don't like her too much. Okay, don't like the ponytail too much, honey. Okay, show her that you're not triggered, you're not bothered, and you'll take your wig and you'll take your purse and you'll go somewhere else. But that doesn't mean you stop shopping there. Shop at other brands as well. I think a lot of people feel like they want to quit shopping from Big H because they have decided to put all of their chips into shopping at Big H. And in fact, one of you actually asked me a question and said, like, you have a budget and you want to know, should you only shop at Hermes and should you sell all of your other luxury bags and luxury prêt-à-porter to shop at Hermes? I was like, no, what are you talking about, girl? You can't do that. That's not fun. That's not a good way to me, in my opinion. If Hermes is your like alpha and omega, I think even if you do that, you leave yourself vulnerable because later the essay is going to figure out that you completely shop at Big H for everything, and then what if for whatever reason the store manager doesn't want to offer you a bag right now? It's going to be very tough for you and it's going to be very painful. Whereas if you're shopping at other brands, enjoying other brands and having a great time at other houses and shopping at Hermes, you won't be too focused on those offers. They'll come when they come, and of course they're going to come because you're showing loyalty. Another thing I think that I noticed about that TikTok and her video was the fact that she had mentioned the flagship boutique. She didn't say Madison Avenue by name, but obviously it is the Madison Avenue boutique because it's the Hermes flagship in New York. That's what she said. That's a very competitive location. Many of you shop there. Many of you have told me many fabulous stories about that boutique. Very, very, very competitive. Lots of ballers, lots of big spenders, lots of people who are very loyal to the brand as well, and people have been shopping there for a very long period of time. It's not going to be an easy boutique to break through and to kind of crack. So I think you should also be realistic, like I said, with your expectations. Social media is to blame for the majority of the situation of shopping at this brand. People's expectations of social media, I think, are too high. People see influencers who have influencer privilege. Remember, we've chatted about that before, influencers and influencer privilege. In fact, I think there was another comment on my Facebook page which said this super beautifully. This comment here from Paige said, she says it doesn't make sense for her financially right now to spend on the bag, which is all she needs to focus on. Social media and its fear of missing out leads to irresponsibility, and I'm happy she knows her limit. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. Social media has played a massive role in the way people see Hermes bag offers. Social media is to blame for the obsession of scoring bags as investments, okay? You know, even from the Victoria Beckham days and the SATC days when the Birkin was featured in Sarah Jessica Parker's TV show, like, you know, it wasn't the concept that it's an investment. It was never seen as an investment. It was seen as the most exclusive handbag, the Birkin anyway, the most exclusive handbag in the world. It wasn't seen as an investment. Social media, YouTubers, bloggers, and influencers have been pushing this idea of Birkin, Kellys, and Constances as investments. You see this all the time in Facebook groups and on forums and social media, and even you guys in my comments, you're like, which bag should I buy for an investment? Well, I'm sorry, a Birkin, a Kelly, and a Constance, they're not investments. They are not. It does not matter how much you try and justify it, they are not investments, okay? And I think it's super dangerous, and frankly, it's irresponsible for anyone who talks about the brand, who shops shops at the brand, to say that these bags are investments. They are not. And I'm willing to go down. You're not going to change my mind. You can fight me in the comments, honey. You can fight me. But if more people didn't see them as investments, we wouldn't have so many broken-hearted people who have been so disappointed with their shopping experience, because people's expectations and also social media's kind of hype around the brand means that people see the Birkin, Kelly, and Constances as investments. They're not investments. Once you accept that the bag isn't an investment, would you try that hard to score it in the boutique if you don't think it's an investment? I would say that most people probably wouldn't try that hard if it wasn't seen as an investment by other people. It's still very hard to get, so there is that gamification thing. Like, people love the idea that it is a game, and they love the fact that they can go out and kind of play the game to acquire them. But if you don't see it as an investment, would you really care that much? I would say that more people probably wouldn't care as much either. And then I think, like, another thing that I have said many times to many of you privately, I've said it on my channel as well, people are not transparent about how much loyalty they show for their offers on social media. And then what this does is it creates unrealistic expectations to the SA of when you think you should be able to get your bag offer, because you've seen an influencer who purchased a pair of shoes and then say, oh, I got, you know, a mini Kelly, or I got a Kelly pochette, or I got a Kelly 25. I'm sorry. In most competitive boutiques in the US, Canada, even in Europe, that is just very, very, very unlikely. Definitely in Asia, that is not going to happen, okay? And I think, and of course, even the Middle East, that's not going to happen. So I think that people also don't help the situation by not being relatively transparent, okay? And I think I've said it before many times, like, you don't have to say the amount of loyalty that you've shown. Frankly, you don't even have to tell us the ratio. But I think it would be nice that if you just got an offer, it's nice if you say, hey, I got an offer. I shopped in Prêt-à-Porter, fine jewelry, and I bought a lot of homewares for my house. We'll all understand that you showed loyalty. We don't need to know, like, every single detail. So, you know, hugs to the TikToker. I hope that she cheers up and feels better. Hopefully, maybe she should just take a break and go back to the store and just play it very slowly and not be in such a rush to get the bag. Like, don't be in a rush if you can't show a ton of loyalty very quick. Just take it easy and, you know, play the game quietly and gently. For those of you who shop in Paris like me, what are your thoughts on quitting the Paris game? Let me tell you what I think about Paris. I think Paris is really cutthroat right now. I think realistically, if you want to compete in Paris, you need to be going there twice a year, realistically, and showing loyalty every time that you go. But Paris is very cutthroat. SAs leave all the time. They don't tell clients. People arrive in Paris, are like, oh, I want to go see my SA who's here. They're like, oh, your SA doesn't work here anymore. That happens all the time in Paris. People's emails get ignored. People's texts get ignored. People's WhatsApp messages go ignored as well. It's very cutthroat in France. I don't know why, you know, I want to kind of crush this idea that everyone thinks that France is easy. France is not easy. France is not easy whatsoever. If you are lucky and become a Pegasus unicorn, that's fantastic. But the reality is, it is not easy whatsoever. So to the point of quitting the game, I think you should only quit the game if it doesn't make you happy. She talks about in the TikTok, she talks about how she talked about the feeling of feeling unwanted. That is not a cool feeling. This is meant to be a fun, exciting, just hobby. It's like shopping. It's meant to be fun. It's not meant to make you feel unwanted or like you're not, wanted, at the boutique. But at the same time, how much thought are you putting towards shopping at the brand? Is shopping at the brand really, really, really important to you, and being accepted by the sort of unwritten codes of this kind of big H, clubhouse? My husband calls my Facebook group a secret society. He's like, he was like, it's a secret society of men and women who all have the same interests. He's like, you guys are like up to something. You guys are up to all kinds of stuff in that Facebook group. He's not a member of the group, obviously. And I'm like, look, okay, if you want to think it's a secret society, you can, but you get my point. And I feel like some people love the feeling of feeling accepted and want to be accepted in this sort of like Hermes shopping world. Instead of looking at it for what it is, it's just a shop. It's just a shop that sells leather goods. When you kind of look at it like that, you won't be as stressed shopping there. And before anyone has a moan and a whinge about my point of view, I'm going back there next month, okay? I will be transparent and tell you guys what happened. If I'm successful, I will tell you. If I don't succeed, I will tell you. Because I have always disliked the sort of cloak and dagger mentality around shopping at this brand. People are willfully misleading. People say things that are so misleading and not true. Like I see this everywhere, like on the Hermes social media worlds. Like you don't need to have a profile in Paris to be successful. Like how can you tell someone that? Yes, you can be a unicorn, but it is very rare. Like that is so wrong to tell people that. And I just want to like remind you, because so many of you who watch my videos who also headed to Paris, do not believe anyone who says it doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. And then when people say things like, oh, it's all about the relationship. It's all about the relationship. Girl, Big H has 6-figure sofas, boo-boo. Okay, she's got, the ponytail has like high jewelry watches that are like 60K. Okay, the ponytail has pavé jewelry that's 39K in euros. If you have a good relationship, your SA should be able to get you that without you paying it. Isn't that right? Some relationship that is. Give me a break, okay? Let's just stop this nonsense. And I think that the TikToker's disappointment, and while I didn't comment on her page or anything, the TikToker's disappointment can be matched with, like I said, the unrealistic expectations of what it means to shop at the brand and the way people make it seem more complex than it is. I do think some of this is cultural. There are a lot of you from the US and Canada. When I speak to you, many of you seem to talk about the relationship more than people who shop in the UK, Germany. I talk to many people who shop in Japan as well, and Singapore. I feel like in Europe and Asia and the Middle East, it's less about the like the concept of a relationship. To me, that feels like more of a North American thing. I know there are a few of you in Australia who've also kind of told me something a little bit similar, like, yeah, of course you guys should get on, but at the end of the day, it's about loyalty. So I think you need to do what's appropriate in your culture. For those of you in the US, if it's appropriate for you to show loyalty and be loyal in terms of relationship, you need to do that. But I do think at the end of the day, it is about loyalty, because this is a business, honey. It is not a charity. It's not kindergarten. We're all sitting around, with a guitar, and singing Kumbaya, and like, oh, we're all so happy, guys. We all love each other. We don't need to exist without, coins. That is not this situation. I will let you guys know how I get on next month. This will be like my second try of playing the game, but with my husband this time, like playing a much bigger role. We'll see how it goes, but like I told you, I'm not going to Paris for Big H. But what happens when you shop in Paris is the Hermes appointment becomes like the sword of Damocles, kind of just hanging over your entire trip. So I need to score quickly. Like as soon as I get there, I need to handle this. Like, I need to go there and handle my business, okay, as soon as I get there, because it ends up becoming like the sword of Damocles. I'm not quitting the game. I'm always in the Big H game until further notice. If I decide to quit the game, I just will stop posting bait videos. I'll stop posting about my interest in Big H. I'll stop, here's a sign. I'll stop mentioning Big H's exotics and their colors. If I stop talking to you about Big H's exotics, that means I'm out of the game. I probably wouldn't film a TikTok. But I think it was brave of her to share her opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think about her video and the comments in this video. And what do you think about my tips about not letting it take over and not putting Big H on a pedestal? If you put the ponytail and her wig, honey, on a pedestal and she's the #1 wig that you like, when things go wrong, you're going to struggle. Whereas if you're shopping at other brands, loving life and having a great time, I think it's even like a cool thing to bring up in appointments. Like your essay be like, so like, what have you been doing today? Oh, I had an appointment at Dior. Oh, I had an appointment at Gucci. I know it's a little bit name droppy, but I feel like sometimes with the Big H shopping scene, you kind of need to do that a little bit. The essay needs to know that you're not desperate, you're not worried, you're not triggered. And if they, don't want to give an offer, you're going to take your wallet and your money and your wig, honey, and you're going to take it to Dior. You're going to take it to Louis Vuitton. And let me tell you, Louis Vuitton and Dior, honey, they'll take that Big H check today. They'll happily take your money. So I'd love to know what you guys think about this. I really hope that you guys like what I'm doing. Please subscribe to my channel, hit notifications, and join me on my Facebook page. If you're a subscriber of my email newsletter, I sent it on Sunday because when did I send it? Sunday was the 18th. Yeah, I sent it on the 18th because I was so busy on the 17th, but normally it comes out on the 17th and the end of the month, whichever day is first, whether it's the 30th or the 31st. I can't speak today. So the next email is going to come out on the 31st of December, which is New Year's Eve. So I hope to see you guys for that as well. And also go join my group and also go follow my Facebook page below and follow me on Instagram as well. I'd love to see you guys there. Can't wait to read your comments. I know they're going to be good, okay? And like I said, it's not a personal attack on the TikToker. We're just reacting to something someone put out publicly. If you put things out publicly, people are going to react to them and have comments and thoughts, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not a personal attack on her at all, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in my next video.